Hey, what's up, YouTube? You're with gothatfunk. I just came to the cemetery to do a bit of thinking. This is the first day of 2011, and according to some people, this is the last full calendar year that we're going to get before the end of the world. Because the world's supposed to end in 2012, apparently. And with that in mind, I thought, well, if we're going to go out next year somehow, some way, by some natural catastrophe where we line up with the center of the galaxy and rip the world asunder. If we're to be snuffed out by Mother Nature, it might as well be up to us to make sure that we accomplish something as a civilization. You know, Even if our civilization is about to end, we ought to be able to say we've accomplished something. And I thought, well, what's the biggest threat that we face in the world? And I have to say, all my life I've really thought that nuclear weapons pose the greatest threat to civilization and to humankind. And I've been a big proponent of nuclear disarmament my entire life. And it occurs to me, when I talk about disarmament to people, the most common objection that I hear is, well, we'd never be able to verify whether all the weapons were destroyed or not. And as I was walking through the cemetery, I had an epiphany about how we could do this. Now, my plan is radical, I admit that. However, I think if we started lobbying our prospective governments all over the world, we might be able to get this accomplished. We could have 100% nuclear disarmament that was 100% verifiable. It's really simple. All we have to do is use all our nuclear weapons. The United States and Russia alone have enough nuclear weapons to blow each other to smithereens several times over. So, scratch that. We don't need this several times over. We could just use the extra nukes on different countries. We could put all the names of different countries into like a little glass jar, and then all the nuclear armed countries could pick their hand in a jar, and, Russia could pick their hand in and go, oh, Mozambique. And they could pick a few targets in Mozambique, and the USA could put their hand in and go, oh, well, Argentina. And we can nuke Argentina a few times. And that way we could spread our nuclear weapon use around the world a little bit. There would have to be some exceptions to the rules. For example, Israel doesn't admit that it has nuclear weapons, so they wouldn't be able to put their hand in the jar. They wouldn't be able to actually use their nuclear weapons against any other countries. But since no country is getting an exemption from being nuked, according to my plan, Israel would definitely get nuked anyway, whether it uses its nuclear weapons or not. It kind of brings a new twist to the whole phrase, use them or lose them. But anyway, also, due to understandable sensitivities, the USA wouldn't be allowed to bomb Japan. And due to historical reverence, I suppose, Britain and the UK, the UK and France would only be allowed to lob one missile at each other, just for old time's sake. We would have to have a few rules to make sure that people's feelings didn't get hurt. But as long as we used all the weapons, we would be 100% sure of verifying their use, because the whole world would be dead. And that would be a monument. We could guarantee peace on Earth if we used my method of verification and disarmament. So what do you think?